everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday Talk series. And I'm here with a very special guest, Laura Mayer. And Laura and I have known each other for a couple of years now, and we've actually done some amazing work together. So let me just go ahead and introduce her because we are going to have an amazing conversation on the topic of creating your courageous life. There we go. So Laura works with people who, despite their commitment to their own wellness, still feel discouraged. She helps them live a more courageous life while staying committed to their path. And I think that is such a great place to start, is this commitment to the path. This is something that I feel is so important right now. It's knowing who we are and staying committed to that vision that we have for ourselves. So Laura, I am just so excited to have this conversation. Welcome to our Tuesday Talks.
Thank you so much, and it's a total joy to be here, and I'm excited. Let's play.
Let's play. Yeah, I love how you approach that, because it's just playing.
Well, what I'd like to say is that the two words you already spoke to, okay? Courage and commitment. And it's all in here.
Yep. It's the inner landscape. It's inside of us. It's not outside. It's not external. So we're going to dive deep into this topic. But before we do, I want to ask you if you could tell us a little bit about your work and how you actually got started on this path of helping people become more courageous.
Yeah. So this path grew from my own personal journey of really having to be, and I use those words because I didn't understand at that point it was a choice. All right. So I had to be courageous. I was diagnosed at 14, 15 with a degenerative disease, neurological disease. So every step of my way was figuring out another way of basically living, okay, surviving, functioning. All right. It literally ravished my hands in the end, after 40 years. So for me, the courage there wasn't a choice. I just had to do it. I didn't know any other way but to keep on keeping on. After 40 years of the disease and 18 surgeries, right before my 50th birthday, I stepped out of the medical box. I literally exhausted it. I didn't really step out. It was like, thank goodness there was something else to step into. And really opened up to something I knew nothing about, which was the spiritual world, the metaphysical world, the world of beliefs, and not it's coming from my doc to me. Okay? I mean, for 40 years of my life, the begging, and I use that word with intention, is what are you going to do? How are you going to help me? When is this going to be okay? It was a begging, never going in. The actions went in. I became an incredible occupational therapist. I was the greatest compensator in the world. I knew how to do most everything, even with nothing. Okay?
Yeah.
Never said before. That was a good line I've got to listen to. And when I stepped out and had literally forced out, I mean, there was no other way, but I'm not going to be here anymore. That opening provided a path for me I never knew existed. So I knew the moment I heard from a medical intuitive shaman, PhD clinical psychologist, you will completely heal. I said yes. I said yes to something I've never heard from any doctor in my life. I said yes to a possibility that, oh my gosh, I can't live like this for another 40 years. I better say yes. And I did with such grace and conviction. So that courage to say yes and the commitment made, solid. I mean, I literally looked at my husband and I said, if I can't heal in this house, I'm out of here. And I didn't mean out of the house. I was out of this lifetime. I'm not doing this anymore. And I know that set the scene, the energetic scene for me to heal all of it, the heart, the body, the soul. And so what I did, I didn't even do it, it just sort of morphed in me, is to start bringing that gift back to others.
Yeah.
Because as a testament to it, I felt there's only one way to go, and that is to bring it. And that's what I do. So I work with people. Did you hear that? I work with people who have this deepest desire to say yes to themselves, knowing somewhere, it doesn't matter where it comes from. It could come from a little pea, doesn't matter. But somewhere in them, they say, this is not enough for me. I know, I trust somehow, somewhere, I don't know how, I'm going to make this work. And that's what I do. I help people to, as a mirror, it's such a mirror for everything I've been in. So I'm just turning it and I'm giving back that gift of knowing, of wisdom, of being one who's traveled that rarely. But, I call it not the road less traveled, the road rarely traveled. Because it takes a real conviction and commitment. And it's not easy. It's a very circuitous road. But it's that inner knowing that says, you have to, there's nothing else for you to do. So those are the people I work with.
That's really, what a story, Laura. I mean, really, and the fact that it's really come from your own experience and your own awakening, your own opening to the divine. I mean, that's the best way I can say it. The energies, the spirit, the like you said, metaphysical world. I mean, what I'm loving so much is how science is starting to really back us up about these types of healing modalities, about the energetics that are being exchanged between people, between everything, never mind just people, right? Energy is everything. And I know that, you have such an incredible intuitive sense to you and such an amazing way of being able to be a translator of this different world to other people. I mean, I know I've experienced that myself with you, and it is just so incredible. So what I'm hearing you say is that it was your own healing, it was your own profound experience that made you want to help other people on their path. You okay?
I'm trying to put a little more light on because I see that I'm fading into some of the sun going down. Yes. Now, I was a therapist, all right? I was an occupational therapist for 25 years, so I had a very solid base of clinical knowledge and awareness. And the beauty is that I got to bridge it all together. Mm-hmm. And so, clearly I came in to be a healer, all right? And what I do now, I kind of lightly laugh about it. I really do OT for the soul. I mean, I go in deeper to the place where change happens. Yeah. And that's the difference. But there's no question this has been my course. I didn't know about divine anything, honestly. I mean, I grew up in a home that was devoid of religion, certainly devoid of spirit. I mean, very, very rigid, intelligent New York family, okay? Yeah. There's no other place but science. Yeah. So, yeah, it was a wonderful opening. I mean, it was like a whole new world opened to me. And I think this is really important because this world opened. And I said yes, even though I was clueless. Yeah. And I say it to everyone, especially my clients, we don't have to know the outcome. We don't have to know what's going to happen. I had no clue what was going to happen. I was terrified, actually, of healing, believe it or not, because I only knew me as someone who struggled with everything you need your hands for, which is pretty much everything. I couldn't even imagine doing anything normal. Okay?
This is really important what you're saying right now about being afraid to even heal, because you are so used to, you are so, you know you in this very moment. So a healed you is this whole other experience that can be really scary.
Absolutely. And I see that in my clients who are afraid to make a change because, oh my gosh, if I change, will I get divorced? Will I have to move? Will my job not be what I want? I mean, it does. And I literally say to them, we're not going there. The commitment is within for you to find your space and your alignment. Trust me that whatever's going to happen as a result of that is exactly what is meant to happen, and you're not even going to ask the question. Once you step into that flow, it's a flow.
Yeah.
But your point, it's spot on, because we hear it all the time. Oh my gosh, I'm afraid. It's okay. Yeah, I was terrified. I would cry in my bed for hours sometimes, like, oh my gosh, what am I going to look like? What am I going to be like? What am I going to do? And you know, we take that fear and we walk with it, because the commitment in here is being fed by the energy to be the best we could be, whatever that means. It's different for everyone, but it's got to come from here. And that's the courage and commitment to self, from self to self, like write a card, to, from. That's it, all here. We'll all do a personal envelope to ourselves, you know. Yes, absolutely. And it's critical.
And what do you have to say to the viewers who really don't know how to get in here? How can we give them some hope that there's an entrance point into the here? Because that's so scary to go into here. It's so easy to be out here and judging and thinking and up here in our heads.
You know, Lynn, beautiful question. And I'm going to challenge that for half a second by saying the people, at least the people who will come to me, and pretty much people I talk to every day, because people are really in a very unsettled state. Okay. So I say to them, you know it's not comfortable out there. You know that this discordant energy or this disruptive energy or this, I just don't feel good. I don't like who I am. Then when we go, I'm getting chills on that. When we go into here, the only gift we can give ourselves is to have a better understanding of who we are. No attachment to that. I would say to people, okay, so I have this thing called give yourself a wrap. And it's really, really, really feeling yourself. And it comes from a sensory integrative approach, that when you hold yourself this deeply, it's as if somebody else is holding you. Your whole body quiets because your sensory integrative system is calm. So in that stance, okay, so what do you want in life? Who are you? Do you know who you are? Do you want to know who you are? Everyone says, I don't know who I am, but yes, I do. That is going in here, and that is your opening right here. Right here, that is your opening. I want to know who I am. Terrified. I have no clue. I'm 71, I'm 31, I'm 20, I'm 65. How come I don't know who I am? We're going to figure that one out. Yeah. So it's a very gentle. I get more gentle every year of my life with this, because people need gentle, and because gentle works. And there's a calmness that just sort of flows in, and then people open up. It may take a session or two. It's really lovely to see people open up to them, Not me, not the world, them. That's first and
Absolutely.
foremost.
Absolutely. And this is, this is the type of work that I do with my clients as well, which is love yourself now. Coming home, coming home to you. And a lot of times it's this dialogue that we need to have with ourselves, and it's this willingness to ask ourselves some questions about, what is it that brings me passion? What is it that brings me joy? What is it that really hurts me? And these are the exploration that I think a lot of us don't feel comfortable doing at the beginning. And
It's scary.
so that's the courage part, isn't it?
Right, because it's scary. It's like, oh my gosh, I don't know why I don't know. The one that I guess the first thing I do is I just give permission. You don't have to know anything. You don't have to know anything. Literally, every client, I say the only thing that I require is that you have an openness and a willingness.
Mm.
And there's no time limit on it. It's at your pace. It's all up to you. I'm here to hold your hand and bring that the intuitive hits and the knowing and the joy, the lightness forward. It was so interesting you just said that, because I had a client today who, you really can get stuck in that place of, I just don't know who I am.
Yeah.
And there's another piece, like the flip side, the mirror of that is, oh, lovely, you get to write the script. I mean, we're so used to following the script. Well, how about writing your script based on real you? Real time. It's real time,
Yeah, I like what you're saying there. If we don't know, let's write our own script.
That's freedom.
Because writing that script is really a visualization of what we want. And that visualization, that script that we're writing, is an indication to the universe that, please, this is what I want. So I love that. I think that, I was just going to ask you if you have like a pro tip or a quick exercise. And honestly, that is one. And then also the whole idea of giving yourself a wrap is really just a really beautiful, quick, anytime you're feeling disconnected, touch yourself, love yourself.
Yeah, and I literally, when I say I call it a wrap for a reason.
Right.
It says, you go as far back as you possibly can, because the whole idea is, a lot of people, we can say most people, want to be held. They want to be held by somebody. They want to feel like they're important, that they matter. Well, guess what? That's what the wrap is, okay? You are holding yourself because you matter, because it's what you so want. And the identification of what we want has to come from here. It can't come from here. My heart's on my hand. My heart's on my hand. You like that? Versus my hands on my heart. It has to come from in here. That is your safety. That is your security. If you have fear, your number one safety is in here. It's got to be in here. Then you can go out there.
Yeah.
And it does. It's not, listen, there's no overnight fix. It's a process. We're a process. As a developmental therapist, we didn't just get born in a day. It was a 9-month process. Everything we do is a process. Open to the process.
Yeah.
And enjoy it.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
And the discovery, enjoying that discovery of you. Because you are a magnificent, important, perfect being here on this planet. And enjoy getting to know yourself.
And equally difficult for people to own. Most people can't even own that. And today with this one particular client, we were talking about loving yourself. And she said, I don't know if I could love myself. I said, in my book, I didn't write, love yourself fully. And, I was thinking, I never thought about it before. I wrote, the first line is having the courage to love yourself enough. Yeah. Enough to take a baby step. You don't have to love yourself fully. There's no way you are. That's a process. But if you could love yourself enough to say yes to one piece, and then another, guess what that love does? It grows.
So,
and I thought that was really interesting.
What do you think is, through your experience working with your clients, what do you think is one of the biggest challenges that keep people on their path? Because it's so easy to stray. So what are some of the biggest challenges, and how do you have any suggestions for coming back home?
So that's an interesting question, to keep them on the path.
So that they feel motivated to stay on that path. Because, if you're at home, you're going through a divorce, you're having a really hard time, it's really easy to put the love yourself now to the side and just go and fall off the edge. Either maybe using substances, maybe going down into depression, maybe looking for another boyfriend, all of these things that take us away from focusing on discovering that gemstone inside of us.
So my answer to that would be, when you have that level of commitment, the oh my gosh, I've had enough, or I can't do this any longer, and I experience it all the time. And then for me, that's an opening to go down a little deeper. And the people who are really committed, again, even if it's 5% of this population, that's enough. I don't have numbers. I don't look at, oh my God, the amount of people. I look at the ones that have made the commitment. Because yes, we're all going to say, I can't do this anymore. It's exhausting. Or I've had enough. Or how come it's not working the way I want to? Or. Again, that's I would immediately speak to the attachment to outcome. And then we've got to be in a flow. And the only thing that matters is you're allowing. Yeah. Allow. When you feel the way you do, go in there. Ask yourself why. Yeah. Write it down, journal. Even before I even knew what mirror work was, I was doing it with myself, because I would go in to my own eyes and say, there's no life force. I don't know who you are anymore. I mean, this was before the healing started. And then, of course, mirror work is critical. Every client of mine, they do mirror work. Yeah, they don't have to open their. You don't have to say a word, and you don't look at the wrinkles on your face, and you don't look at what your hair looks like. You are in your eyes as if I'm in your eyes. And go to that place when you have a doubt, period. And you see the intention of you.
I like that. I think that is brilliant. So that's a brilliant answer, is just to go and do that mirror work. When that commitment becomes challenging to yourself, go look at yourself in the mirror with love. Just eye gaze into your soul. Yeah, that's a wonderful suggestion.
It's really taking you in at a level where you make the connection to you.
Yep.
And maybe the only other thing that matters, besides for me in the work I do, or for me as a human being, is the commitment, the courage, and the connection. That connection keeps you
connection. That's great.
to self.
Yeah.
And to be in that, and so I do this thing with the alignment, right? But what I do is I do this. It's a flow. It's not going to happen like that. It can't. Our bodies, our physical bodies cannot accept all of that. I have watched people, I work with a lot of people in their 60s and 70s. I have other groupings, but I am so joyful. I can't even tell you. It is so exciting to have a 70-year-old call me and say, I have been doing this my whole life. I'm so tired of it. I don't even know who I am. I'm so used to taking care of everybody else. I just think it's the greatest thing in the world. Oh my gosh. It doesn't matter if you got 10 years, 20 years, 100 years. You have made that decision that you're so tired of showing up and shape-shifting for other. I'm ready to do me. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And so the point there is that there's no age here limit, okay? Doesn't matter. It's really when you just say something's not working. So open it up and let's find out.
Yeah. So there's a curiosity there as well.
Absolutely. An excitement, uplifting sense. I tell people, lighten up. I laugh at this stuff now. I didn't laugh at this stuff at the beginning. So my greatest transformation, transformation. One of the pieces for me that I've watched me uplift is that it's lightening up. I don't believe in enlightenment. I'm sorry. I think it's a overused word. But when you lighten up, you laugh at yourself. You oh my gosh, I can't believe it. You know what? You're giving yourself permission to be you without the judgment, without the fear.
Right?
Chakra on that one. See? They agree. Permission's another one. Permission.
Yeah.
It's all about giving nobody else
permission.
Nobody else. I'm sorry. I couldn't hear. Nobody else can give you permission to be you but you. Period.
Laura, I love this conversation, and I love where we're going with it. I just want to know, is there anything, we're coming up against our time limit here, and is there anything else that you feel is really important to share with our viewers tonight about this topic, or is there anything you want to leave them with?
So I would leave you with, if you could open the doorway, which is my work, if you could open the doorway to, let's just say, 2 possibilities. What do you want? What are you willing to say yes to? Write it down. Write down that sentence and find the one word in that sentence that speaks volumes to you. And don't be afraid of it. Be excited. Wow, these are my possibilities. We can do anything we want if we say yes and we get out of our way.
That is brilliant. I love it. So just find 2 things that we're willing to say yes to. Write them down and find the word that really resonates.
I guarantee you, when I started my healing process, I literally said to the universe, I just want to do one thing normal, physically. I didn't even think of the emotional, psychological, spiritual piece, okay? I was so naive. One thing physically that I can do like everyone else. Can I tell you, and everybody who's listening to this, oh my goodness, what I received was volumes. I asked for one. So when you put that intention out there, you're going to receive. So enjoy it, guys. Be excited, be curious, be alive with it. It'll all be there. The universe is going to say, okay, I got you. and go for it. Go for it.
Laura, you are just such a joy to talk to, and I just want to let my viewers know that Laura and I have done work together, and she has just made such a big difference in my life. So I'm so happy to be bringing her here onto the Tuesday Talks and sharing her with all of you. Now, Laura, if our viewers want to get in touch with you, what is the best way for them to find you?
Well, you can find me on Facebook under Laura Mayer. You can find me under my website, which is a little complicated, Doorway to an Audacious Life. I mean, if you Google Laura Mayer, I will come up. But I am always on Facebook, and I invite you to ask me a question. I love sharing the gifts. That's what I live for. Lynn, I want to say to you, there's nothing more honoring than to have these dialogues with somebody that I know personally and that I have worked with, and that it's a complete picture. And thank you. It's been a lot of fun.
So Laura, before, when this gets posted, let's go ahead and either you or I make sure that we put your website in the comments on Facebook so that it's really easy for people to get to you. And we'll put Laura's email and her website and her Facebook so that you guys can contact her. Absolutely high recommendations, you guys, for Laura's work. She's very gentle. She really helps move you into the direction of uncovering your hidden truth.
I help you move yourself.
Yes,
I help you move yourself. May I just say one more thing? I just started a new group called Open the Doorway to Your Infinite Possibilities. Check it out, join it. It's going to be an ongoing discussion every day. I'm going to be posting live, and it's an opportunity to open up. Just even if you want to just hold that doorknob and open a little bit, it doesn't matter. Open up. So I welcome everybody to that group, and ask questions. I love the teaching learning process. So let's go for it. It's time.
Thank you so much, Laura. Such a pleasure to have you here. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you in a couple weeks with another Tuesday Talk.